Hello everyone for a video up to 3.19 Mirror Calandra League. So someone asked me to make a build update POB about the Siege Ballista totem build I played back in Scourge League, which was almost a year ago. And looking at the build now versus when I played it back in Scourge, which is in the background right now, the build only lost about 20-30% damage. The build still hits for insane numbers. So I went through pretty quick. Nothing really changed in a whole almost a year on the POB. The only difference now really is the quiver change to the new quiver they just released. I think it was like yesterday or today that combined pretty much the two quivers together. And pretty much that's the only thing that changed on the build. I think people are still going to play this build pretty well. The build destroys bosses. This version that I played is not the one that Imperium played. The one that did like Imperium and Pastorin played that was doing insane amount of damage with better chess pieces. This is more of the defense version, which is what I like playing, more defense and more damage wise. Because this is the one that plays with the Zodiac, I think it's called. I might not pull it up here. With this chess piece. I have POV of it. But as you can see going through the map showcase, it was extremely simple. I'll link the this video in the description below and also with the new POV. This one explains the build more. I'm not gonna go in detail like about the build and everything because I already did that a year ago. But you know, like through Cyrus, the build was no problem. This is back when what you want to call it. Cyrus 8 was the end game, but you can see how fast his health is going down. But yeah, like pretty much the totems, like this is not even with Watcher's Eye either. But the Watcher's Eye adds like another 200k more damage per totem. But Hate Your Watcher's Eyes, you know, everyone knows is crazy expensive. Oh, that's not really this one. So the POB is pretty much pretty close to the same. The big changes I added already is the Poise Prism. This is the one that just got released. I had changed all the stuff into it already. And pretty much this was the old quiver. This quiver is not in the game anymore, so I just changed the numbers. But you can see the damage changes not that much. The where is it at? The Hirams is pretty much like 919 k per totem, and with the new quiver, it's about 864k per totem. So it's not that much of a difference. You're probably not gonna notice it, to be honest. And you did lose the attributes though, attack speed, you know, life gain. You do lose a little bit of defense on that, and you lose about. I mean, you still stay if you still can stay above the 16k dexterity. It's all matters with the build, and you get some resistance with the new quiver. So even when getting resistance on this quiver now, your resistance cap should be a lot easier to get to. But one thing about this, I didn't change the items on here. So like the all the flasks, you know, obviously we cannot get the. I might actually put all the numbers on here. So like the charges when you're hit by an enemy, you're not gonna get the new numbers anymore. I think it's like 1, 2, and 3 is new numbers now, or something like that. But like the flask, just you know, if you're gonna play this build, just do the flask the way you want to. That work for your playstyle. Like you know, bleed immunity. If you want to get charges hit when you're hit by an enemy, if you want to get just increase charges, you know, just it's personal preference on the charge on those. None of these flasks were changed back when I played them. Like this one doesn't even have a the incubators on them, or not incubators, but the orbs to make them better. You know, like this one has a chill, which the flask doesn't even deal with chill. So like none of these are correct. Don't copy that part. Just you know, probably like use when full is probably you're gonna want to use, so they're always active. But like ideally, court, life, you know, granites, quicksilver, diamond, the usual setup. Pretty much one thing I want to mention is that the rings in Lake of Calandra with the new ability to make insane rings with like a what was it, like where you can double stats like 3 go minus 3 go positive. You can probably make it some insane rings by doing that this league. So you can easily hit a lot higher decks when I have on these. And the fact that you get more resistance now through the quiver, it might help a little bit. not being as high res, but you have to play with that to yourself. Like put like low res on here, like crazy decks, attributes, and get like try to flip it to like in double amount or something like that, or add more. So you can definitely probably hit some crazy numbers with it on both ring slots. You know, like your amulet sort of is stuck on here. Your boots are stuck. Your gloves. Hunter is probably the best in slot option still, I think, even though Xart and Eater influence stuff. But I still think getting the 10% extra dex on here is much better. If you are going to craft them, I believe these are a big pain in the ass to craft. To give a heads up, I would probably just recommend buying them. Or because you're going to spend a lot of essence, or just essence farm deafenings. And hopefully you can hit dex once, but it's extremely rare to hit. It just as a heads up. If you don't want to go this route, then I would recommend just doing the Eater and Exarch, like to add 1 damage for like every 100 dex, I think, and whatever else you want to get as the other, as maybe like a budget option until you want to go to this type of option. You know, Hiram, Zodiac Armor, this is pretty much, if you want to go more defenses, this is probably your better option. They're going to be spell suppression. It's going to be a lot easier now on the tree. That's why I'm over like 63 compared to the old one. Like if you don't want to use Hiram, you can definitely drop this and run the it's a deck stacking chess piece that people use for the Holopalm build if you want to do that instead. But you know, Hiram is just more this defense option. The other one is more of the glass cannon. For me, I just like playing defense, and it doesn't hurt to get this one. You know, Fracture of Thought still probably the best option to go with. Siege Ballista attack speed. You know, the new quiver that's getting added to this league, and Iron Commander is still the best one to get. But and like on here too, I added the Watcher's Eye that wasn't on here originally. If I can find it, there it is. So the Watcher's Eye, you know, ignore the third stat. It just won't let me take it off. But pretty much you're looking for a Hatred Watcher's Eye. You know, these are going to be very expensive. I probably recommend just getting these a 1-stat Hatred. And when you can upgrade to 2, go for 2. As everything else on the tree stay the same, you know, Brawn, Flu Motion, Rain of Splinters, Cluster, just medium Cluster Jewel, it's all you need. Brutal, so Brutal will stink, I think, this league. I think these are going to be absolutely miserable this league, with the fact that Divine Orbs are going to be so expensive. So I would probably look at the ones, plug in a POB, since now the POB actually calculates the numbers and what they are. I'd probably do that first and see, you know, if you can find like a double dex one. And use your points in this section just based on where the dex, or your 5% dexes are. That's what I would do. Like that's where a 5% dex was on this one. Resistance that I need, that I don't even need anymore. So like technically I can get rid of these 2 points here even, and put them somewhere else. You know, like the frenzy charge is nice to have. But like pretty much use the if you can get a timeless jewel, that's good. Get it. If you can't get it, just skip it for now, and just go back later and get this like late game. This is probably gonna be very expensive though, so just a heads up, because like you have the point down here. You can look at Golem's Blood is good. Some resistance here. Your frenzy charge. Your mana if you need it. You know, like there's a bunch of spots to look at. Just look at what you need and just go from there. And like Iron Reflex, which I don't think changed at all. No. But like overall, like, you know, Onslaught, your Point Blank, like it's a pretty basic tree to be honest. Is this gonna be and like the tree is very, you know, spread out. You know, if one thing I want to put out fast, is this a League Start friendly build? To be honest, probably not League Start friendly. I'm gonna say it right now, because the build requires so many uniques. But it's nice that it requires uniques, and if you focus on them, you can probably easily get them first. Either you can start going deck stacking right away and scale up this way to save a lot of respec points, or just play some other build, like totem based build and respec later. It's just personal to you. I think the build is going to be you're going to struggle to level the build up on League Start as a deck stacker, because you can definitely get 4 links and 5 links on your Iron Commander, which won't be that expensive. But like, this is not going to be common to find. The Quiver, no idea. I believe the Flight are pretty expensive on League Start. Same with Astromidas. You know, like Brawn is always cheap. Fluid Motion, just get a shitty 1 start. Rain of Splinter could be expensive depending on totem builds. You know, Thread of Hope, Brewster's Snake can always make a couple exalts on League Start. You know, the stat wise on these, I probably would not recommend this on League Start, but just want to put an updated version of this build out on the channel. So at least there's an updated version of this, because I did like this build a lot. I might go back to this build this league. It's probably one of my more favorite builds I played, along with a couple other ones I played in the past. But definitely recommend this build if you want to have fun. But make sure you like the totem playstyle. It's very different than a lot of playstyles a lot of people don't like playing, because it's very different. You know, gems didn't change at all. It's still all the same set of gems back when I played it last time. I know cast damage taken does change, I think, a little bit, but doesn't matter. Like second wind, you don't need this anymore. This is back then. Second wind, better version, but if you want to dump second wind, dump it. If you can fit a Defiance banner in, I probably recommend that instead, because this build's only using level 3 Enlighten. So like if you got like a level 4 Enlighten, you know, the Defiance banner, you still have enough mana. So, and this also gave you about a 4% more fizz damage reduction. Also gives you the, I think this one's updated now, right? Or is this one not updated? I'm not sure if all the gems. No, so this one's not updated yet. I don't think it's a 30% now after the change. I believe they did change it to a 40% or 50% reduction, something like that. So I don't think the gems are fully updated yet with POB. But I know that with the change to the gems now, like this gives you a little more defense against crit damage. So it definitely can help a little bit more of that. That's probably another option to go with if you want to plug in a little bit more defense, just feel a little more tanky, because the Defiance banner is always fun to play with. But I'll leave that in the POB as an option. If you want to add it, go for it. If you like second win instead, you know, that option. It's just personal preference. That's all it comes down to. But I'm going to link this in the description below. If there's any questions about it, you know, feel free to ask. I'll change Enlighten. I think you need Enlighten level 3 to play it though, or 4. Yeah, I would probably not use this without level 4 Enlighten, to be honest. The Defiance banner change. But I'll change it back down to 3. Just so that the build, you know, shows that it does work at level 3 Enlighten, so it's not too bad. But also one thing you make sure you get early on is go for your anonymous Siege Ballista. It definitely helps a lot because it gives more projectiles. And also, I think I mentioned this last video. It's been like a year, so I don't remember. But pretty much, if you're mapping, Hypothermia. If you're bossing, flip Hypothermia for Barrage. It's just to get more damage out there. It's either Barrage or Barrage Support. I think it's Barrage though. But like everything else is pretty doable. But just want a quick update about the video. If you like, subscribe down below. Come follow me on Twitch. And we'll probably start. I think it's the only build I'm going to update before this league starts, because it's the only build I was asked about. But I might look at golems also. But hope you liked the video. Hope to see everyone on the next one.